All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dave. Whoops. There we go.
You hit the mute, unmute, same time I hit the unmute. Good morning. So you survived your trip back.
I did. It was a fun little trip, but it was a little lonely, but it was still fun.
Yeah, gee, that was a long way.
500 miles on Friday, then 1,000 miles on Saturday, and I made it home Saturday night.
Oh my gosh. I think I would die. It would take me a week to drive back that far.
And it was one of those two, I didn't even realize it until we started planning it. And I was looking at the maps and putting the route back, which there's only a couple ways to come back because of the mountains. And Idaho was my last state. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys or not. Idaho was the last state I had to check on to make all the West Coast. So I'm down to only 6 states left to travel for all the United States.
Oh, nice. You gotta hit those.
And 4 of them are over in New England. I could do it in like a half an hour.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Not New York. You've been in New York.
Yeah, I've been in New York. The ones I got left over there is Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine.
Oh, those are the most beautiful states.
Yeah, I haven't been to those 4 yet. And then I got South Carolina somehow I've managed to not get into, but I've been everywhere else around it, and Alaska.
Nice. Nice.
That that's my
Well,
last six.
Well, when you come out this way, you got to let me know. We got hookups.
Absolutely. Morning, Keith. Harry, good to see you. Harry's back in action. We were emailing yesterday.
Good morning, guys.
The coffee's on.
I'm on my third cup already.
Uh,
Got to have the coffee.
looks like we got a good gang. Hey, V. Good to
Hey,
see you.
welcome. Nice, nice. Good morning, Mark.
Yeah, looks like a few new names in here. Either that or someone's just changing their name.
That's always a possibility. We have some lurkers,
You never know.
a couple trolls. Yes, Gab down today, Andre. Wow. Yeah, if you have the new scripts, you would have seen immediately the volume, synthetic volume turned up really fast. So yeah, I didn't bite. I said, "Oh man, I missed the 100-point move on the Dow and the 16-point move on the S&P, but I didn't bite. I did not bite." Now we're right up to SR1. So we'll see what happens there. Harry says you have a few questions about today and need your help. Absolutely, Harry. That's why we're here. Sorry, but you would buy on what basis? I didn't say I buy. I just said I didn't bite on the decline. I'm not
He
going to
didn't
go.
bite on the gap down, he meant.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to go short on that decline. I waited because that volume started picking up. He purchased the swing system. I'm all excited about it. Watch the videos too. Videos talk about trading on a 10-minute chart, keeping H4 as reference. Well, H4 is also the swing trading chart, but also as a reference, yes. I'm not much of a day trader, especially as I am a resident in Singapore. I wonder how best I can use this for real swing trading, meaning a couple of days. Of course, I don't hold futures over the weekend. We're going to get into that, but we got a couple things we're going to talk about as far as the TSA alerts and messages go. Made a couple of changes there. We'll talk about that first, and then we can answer that question if we get to it. But yeah, I'll wait a couple minutes here. We're good 7 minutes into the stream. A couple minutes more. We'll just say hello to everybody. Keith, Andre, Mike, Isham, Manura. Good morning, all you guys. Really good to see you here.
Jared's in. Jared was emailing me. He's been making use of the system now too, and had some pretty great days. I don't know if you want to comment just in the comment box, Jared, if what you've been doing or.
Nice.
Andre says, Dave, you've had the Renko cloud set to 100, whereas the scripture 120 paints a little higher than 100.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I played around with it a little bit just to see, but basically what it does, there's not a whole lot of difference between 100 and 120. I would keep it at the 120 after some more kind of testing it out. The 120 seems to be pretty accurate. What it does is it just takes the ATR over 120 period average. So, I mean, it's not a huge difference. I like the 120 is actually perfect. That was Andrew's work. He put it at 120 as the default. I think he's absolutely right on that. Harry, yesterday was my first day with the script. I was on watch, could not understand something on the 10-minute chart. XPF, whoops, I lost my, what happened here? Lost my chat window.
Here he's on a 10-minute chart while the SPX was down from the open. Okay, yeah, we'll cover that, Harry. It's so remember the red arrows are like these are not necessarily triggers or signals to go short, which is exactly a good reason that we see here if we're looking at the SPX here, big gap down like we were saying. But we look at the volume and we see the volume's up. So yeah, the first 5 minutes or the first 10 minutes it was down, but then it immediately recovered because we saw all the positive volume coming in, and then it has rallied since then. So these aren't necessarily triggers to say go short because that would obviously not have worked. But these are trend changes, signals that are coming.
Yeah, they're basically trend identification. That's why yesterday at the close, the second bar before the close yesterday had a down signal. It was just indicating that the trend is down. In fact, there was a number of signals yesterday indicating a downtrend. It's not a signal to go short, just a signal saying, hey, pay attention, we may have a lower market.
Yep, Harry, you got it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 downs just like you do. So yeah, it looks like you're seeing the exact same thing I am. Then you got 2 this morning. So yeah, I would say you're loading them correctly if that's what you're seeing. And we have had a few people email, just about setups and always good, just baseline. These are built for the cash indexes, so you can put them on SPX like I have here. I also have them on the NDX, and you can also put them on the Dow Jones, obviously.
Right.
So JI. And you want overnight trading turned off. So if you go into your settings, in equities, not futures because we're looking at SPX now, right? Have your extended hours off and start aggregation at market open. So make sure those are both checked. And then 10-minute chart here, 4-hour chart here, and then just load them up their default. So, and when you're putting the studies in, nothing you have to change outside of if you want to add in the little lines. We've made a few minor tweaks to dotted lines for whatever, but for SPX or Dow, you don't have to make any changes to the settings in the gears. They're already preset on NYSE. The only change you would make, obviously, is on your NDX chart. You would come into those settings, and you would flip it from, obviously, NASDAQ. So you see that in the oscillator and the SR. There is no change in the synth volume. That goes off of what you're looking at on the chart. And the Renko cloud, you don't have to change. So no super tweaks that you have to make. But that's just some of the baseline settings. I know a few people have come in. You're probably getting some emails on support for Strong Market too. I'm sure they're seeing it, but just to cover that quickly for everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a clip of that video. This what you just did there, and probably hand it out to people who had questions.
Definitely.
One of the things that you could do is go up to the studies again and then show them how to select the NDX versus the NYSE. Go over to the gearbox, I guess.
Yeah, so I'll bring over my NDX chart again. And I'll pull those studies up here. And what I did was in the MT swing, that shows our SR. You come into the gear, then you just hit the exchange here, and you select it from NYSE to NASDAQ. And you save that. Chart stays at chart. I have my auto alerts turned on and off. You can, whatever you want there, if you want to hear a ding or not. It's kind of fun if you're not watching, like, oh, hey, what's going on? So when these arrows point in, it'll actually play a ding on your computer is what the audible alerts are. And then same thing for the swing oscillator. Hit the gear, change it to NASDAQ, leave it on chart. You don't have to change it today. That's default. And then I save that at OK. And the synth, just to show you, nothing to change.
Nope. The only thing that you'd want to do with the synth is if you'd want to change those lines.
Right. So we see there, we'll pull that up. If you want to change your style lines, you can do that depending on how you like it.
Yeah, it's on the oscillator, I think. Yeah, the oscillator.
Yeah, there you go. I was in this one, sorry. We'll pull that back up just for completeness. In the oscillator, we pull up the gear, and you can do so we see the low and the high. You can change these styles to dotted or dashed. Like I do, I have it. I didn't change it on my NASDAQ yet, but I changed it on the SPX here.
Yeah.
So when the line is actually there, you can see the difference. Like right now it's buried or it was bottomed out.
Right. Yep, exactly. Perfect. V, you uncheck the extended market hours because the cash indexes are closed from right at 4 o'clock there. So what you want to do is if you get the extended hours, none of the you don't well, most of the scripts, the oscillator, the swing set, they aggregate data from the previous bars. So if you have the extended hours on, you're going to get gaps in your you want the market hours opens for aggregating the data during the day. Now for futures trading, if you're doing extended hour futures trading, you can use the synthetic volume and the Renko charts, but put it on a separate, do a separate chart just for the futures. So if you're doing the ES or if you're doing the YM, just open up a separate chart and just put the synthetic volume and the Renko charts on there, and you should be able to use them just fine. The oscillator uses internal market data.
Right. So it look just like this. You can put ES, then just remove this middle one. So you just have two areas up.
Yep, exactly.
And Harry, it does work. So what we do is if you want to trade futures, just like we're saying, we just watch the cash indexes, and obviously the futures are a derivative of the cash index. So we're trading the ES when we're looking at the chart for SPX. We're trading the NQ when we're looking at the chart for the NDX. Because they're a derivative of the cash index, they smooth out the moves. It's less erratic. And you're trading the YM when we're looking at the Dow Jones. Or if you want to trade other instruments, you can. Whatever derivative floats your boat is whatever you want to do. You know, if you want to trade the QQQs or the diamonds, you can do that just watching the proper index. We select to choose futures because tax reasons, in and out, you know, a few different reasons, but whatever derivative you want, you know, a few people do ask, hey, I want to trade options. Well, if you want to do swing trading, when we get around to that, maybe you can look at, hey, we'll watch the swing setups and maybe you want to trade an option. If you want to fight the spreads, I figured if you can make your money in a few hours with the futures contracts, why do you need to hold your contracts longer? You know, what's the end game? The end game is to make money, right? So if you can make your money in a shorter time, you can do that. If you want to increase risk exposure, that's your prerogative. We're just showing you what's working for us at the end of the day.
Yeah. And for you guys who are not in the U.S., you might wonder, well, why futures? Because a lot of countries, evidently, they do not tax stock trades and futures differently, but in the U.S. they do. It's 60-40 in the United States, long-term versus short-term for tax treatment. So that's why we prefer futures. But you can use a SPY, the diamonds. You can go with the ETFs. You get a little more leverage with the futures. That's another reason. And the liquidity is, you know, it's very good. So it's really up to you guys. Harry says there's no tax there.
Yeah, Harry.
Ugh.
Keep rubbing it in.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Moving to Singapore.
Uh, Singapore is absolutely gorgeous. I was not there, but my wife and my daughter were there about a year and a half ago, and they absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that live there. It's fantastic, they say.
It's gorgeous. The laws are very strict though. They're like some very strange laws there that you have to be careful of. But I mean, that's true in any country, different country you go to. But they're quite strict, I understand. They also have one of the best economies in the world. And I believe that they are one of the only countries in the world that doesn't have a deficit. They're very, very good with their money as far as the government goes. They know how to deal with money. All right, so let's get into the TSA changes. They had a surplus and gave it back to the public. Holy cow! I mean, we're 22. What is it? $22 trillion in debt now.
Yeah, we lost count. It's another billion every minute or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's incredible, and it's about $40,000 per person in the United States that person would have to owe to the United States to wipe out the deficit.
We probably missed it because we got a lot of comments that came in, but Jared said back earlier he was paper trading with the new scripts for a little bit. Then he made the switch over to real trading yesterday. He's made about $1,300. He's really liking the Renko Cloud.
Oh, nice!
So
wow.
Another client using it. It's not just us loving these scripts, guys.
Beautiful.
Congratulations, Jared. Well done.
Yeah, that's good to hear, Jared. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for
He's
sharing.
mentioning to me that he's also using it to look at CL oil.
Oh, really?
So it's working on multiple different indicator instruments.
Yep, Renko Cloud and the synthetic volume will work on any instrument. Those two definitely do. So congrats.
So yeah, there you go, Harry. Try it out on gold, see what you see.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing that these tools are giving us.
Yeah, nice.